Hello folks, welcome back to the fourth leg of our tour around the world, just as the doors are closing. If you have seen the last video, you know that I've been looking out for the other CargoLux 748, and there it is in fact also 747-8 in the cutaway livery, pretty cool livery. We saw this one back in Hong Kong, now it's here at Anchorage, and this will also continue down to Chicago, so it's pretty much on the same routing as we are. Pretty amazing in my opinion. I have used the PMDG turnaround function. You can see those are the PMDG vehicles. The aircraft is refueled. It has also triggered all the sort of cargo vehicles and cargo doors, which is of course not according to reality, since here in Anchorage this aircraft was refueled only without any cargo loading or deloading. Anyhow, this turnaround is very close to be completed, and yes, I'm very much looking forward to this flight over to Chicago. To start off, we can have a look at our flight plan, and yeah, sorry about this one. I keep getting active Sky errors today. I have no idea why. I reinstalled it. They have released an update lately. Maybe it's connected to that. I have no idea. I will try to fix this during the cruise, but for now we will take it as it is. And here's the flight plan, which is CargoLux 4517 on the 5th of July from Anchorage to Chicago. Yeah, we know all this already, cost index 60 as we are used to. Departure 17:45 Zulu, which is I believe 9:45 AM local time, I guess. And yeah, we will take 5 hours and 18 minutes getting to Chicago in the early evening, so I think it will still be daylight. I would be surprised if not, but let's see. What else? Alternate Detroit, block fuel 80 tons basically, same zero fuel weight as on our last flight, so pretty fully loaded still. Takeoff weight 404 and 43 tons shy of max takeoff weight. So although that's a rather short flight for 747, yeah, we are still rather heavy, and we can also see the warning on here: payload cargo limited by max landing weight. This will be our constraint today, not so much the takeoff weight. And yes, that's pretty much the important stuff from the flight plan. I have set up the ACARs already and also loaded in the flight plan. We can continue the takeoff calculation. Just going to check that this one is heading 07 left as it seems. Okay, yes, so ACARs is loaded, flight plan is loaded. For departure, I was planning to go on runway 15, the same we landed on. Let's see latest weather. 020 at 6. Yeah, that's dialed in. So it will be even a tiny bit of tailwind, 5 knots of tailwind for the departure. I think that's still fine. Alternatively, we could switch over to 07 left. And I'm thinking maybe that's more appropriate for the winds. Although I think the real world flight went out of 15. And now I'm quickly looking for the charts. Yes, okay, let's switch over to 07 left. I think that's better for the winds. And then we will have the Potter 1 departure. Pretty cool departures here out of Anchorage. So this one will take us heading 074. Let's close this. Heading 074. Until we get to 600 feet, and then right hand turn to 199er, and then top altitude will be 4000. And since this turn is coming up rather fast, I believe I should rather dial in 199er. And then it's vectors only, and then we can sort of vector ourselves to the first waypoint, which will be the Johnston Point VOR. There it is, and you can see the discontinuity here. And yeah, we can sort of head towards Johnston Point once we have enough clearance for the surrounding mountains. Okay, so that's dialed in. Now what we need to do, 07 left, and let's see what we get here. Winds are still valid. Takeoff 2, conditions are dry, calculate. Yeah, that's okay. Calculate takeoff 1. Okay, we have data, no select temperature though. So we could technically do this, but maybe it's safer to go with takeoff. Yes, and here we have a headwind of 2 knots, so this runway is more appropriate, definitely. Okay, flap 20, air condition will be off. Acceleration at 1500 and select temperature 44. Alright, thrust limit, temperature 44, takeoff 20, and then we have 51, 60, 71. Yeah, that's all according to the QRH. That's easy. So 171 goes in here, and we have this one completed already. Okay, looking good. Pre-flight checklist, oxygen. Flight instruments 053, altimeter 2977. They've shifted quite a bit during this 1 hour on the ground. Parking brake is set, and we should also put those to aux. Pre-flight checklist is completed. Okay, now we don't need any pushback. We can taxi out straight ahead. Now, once again, I'm wondering what the right procedure with GSX is. Have a good trip. Okay, I think that was easy. Okay, so let's continue over here. APU is running, external power is gone. Now we should release all the ground connections. Yeah, turnaround is completed. It goes to removed, and then the fuel pumps, window heats. Now I'm wondering, do we have or do we need the cross feeds rather? No, we don't. There is exactly the same amount of fuel in every tank, so those can stay off. That's perfect. Checklist, before start checklist, passenger signs are on. MCP is set at V2 171, heading 199er, altitude 4000, takeoff speeds 151, 160, 171, CDO pre-flight. We have done this. Trim is free at 0 units. Taxi and takeoff briefing. Yeah, we've talked about the takeoff. Taxi is pretty straightforward. Beacons go on. Sweet. So I believe we can go straight to the engine start. Packs go off. Beacons are on. Fuel pumps are on. Starting 3 and 4. Now let's have a look for this other CargoLux. Okay, I can't see it on the ground. Maybe it's already, yeah, it's probably already gone. Okay, so taxiing. 07 left is just over there. So we taxi out straight ahead. Right hand turn on Echo. And then we need to go down to, which one is it? I believe it's Romeo. This one. Yeah, right hand turn down there. Okay, starter cutouts, starting 1 and 2. Okay, and VORs are still on, that's good. Then put traffic and definitely terrain here. Traffic and weather over there. And then when we zoom out, we should see all the terrain just straight ahead. Yeah, there it is. So this is quite simply the reason why we are doing a immediate right-hand turn after takeoff. Pretty high mountain spec there. A lot of Alaska's 737 fleet as it looks. It's getting a little bit hazy, but still fine, I believe. Okay, starter cutouts. Sweet. So those go to auto. APU goes off, PEX go on. And the before taxi checklist anti-ice is off. Recall is checked. Auto brake, RTO, flight controls. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and the rudder, full left, full right. That's checked, and as we are here, let's set the trim 6.3. There we are. And ground equipment is clear before taxi checklist completed. So taxi lights and flaps go to 20. Alrighty, so parking brake goes off, and off we go. So now it's 17:45, which is spot on our scheduled departure time. So I believe we have been on the ground slightly longer than 1 hour. That's due to the short turn around version of the PMDG menu is 1 hour. So that's basically the shortest we can do. But that's fine. We are definitely on schedule here. So I actually haven't flown into Chicago for quite some time now. I will definitely use the time during the cruise to get acquainted with the ground charts. Huge airport and very complex taxiing routes sometimes, depends on where you want to go. But I will do this during the cruise, and now we should focus on this departure. I'm very much looking forward to this one. Should be amazing with these mountains back there. Okay, we're taking right-hand turn here. Oops, that was too far. Pretty tight turn. The sim has gotten a little bit laggy now. I feel like it has been a bit smoother when we came into Anchorage, but it might be due to the weather changes or something like that. Okay, so we are going to cross runway 33 in just a second. We should make sure there's no traffic incoming. I can't see anything. Oh, is that a Dream Lifter? I think so, yeah it is. Wow, nice. I didn't know those guys were coming to Anchorage, but apparently they are. Awesome. How many are there, like in real? Is it 2 of them or maybe 3? Shouldn't be much more than that, I guess. Alrighty, before takeoff checklist, flaps are set at 20, that's checked. Let's put this transponder on, tilt above. And then it's the next turn already, here we are. 07 right starts a lot further down, but also doesn't go as far. But is in total, it's quite a bit longer than 07 left, I'm just seeing that on the charts. Okay, but we have done our calculations properly today, so everything should work out, at least according to theory. And there it is again. Sorry about that, guys. I hope I can fix it during the cruise. Pretty annoying. Okay, so landing lights, strobes, packs go off. It's not too warm, 16 degrees, so yeah, I believe the crew can handle without air conditioning for a while. Okay, not the greatest lineup, but that will work for us today. And let's zoom this out a bit. Okay, so again, talking about the departure, since it's quite essential today, we are climbing to 600 feet and then do a right-hand turn on heading 199er, and we continue on this heading until we have enough clearance to go to the first waypoint, which will be, I think we need around 8,000 feet if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, okay, I believe we are all set, so let's do it. Advancing the throttles. And toga. Chicago, here we come. The fourth leg of our around the world tour, and after that it will only be 2 legs left until we get back to Luxembourg. The wind is pushing a bit from the left hand side, we can feel that.
80 knots.
Speeding up quite well here. Well, we are heavy after all.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
Keeping it at 10 degrees. And we're airborne.
Ready to climb.
Gears coming up. And very quick look outside, but we need to focus on the flying. It's 500 feet, 600 feet, so here we go up to the right-hand turn. Ooh, that's pretty amazing, turning very close to the ground in a heavy 747. Doesn't get much better than that. Getting a bit fast. Sorry that I'm exceeding the flap 10 buck just now, but I want to keep the flaps as they are during this turn, and then we can handle it afterwards. Yeah, that's pretty awesome stuff here. Okay, and flap 10. This is what I really like about flying the 747. Even so we're super heavy, it still handles really smooth and well, and we always have enough power to do our stuff. Flap 5. Okay, and autopilot. And we're sticking to the heading of 199. That's perfect. Flap 1 and 4,000 feet is coming up. Cruise. Oh gosh, I forgot. Is it? I think it's 330. We can check again in a second. Yes, and that's the airport down there. Beautiful wing view here. Flaps up. As flaps are coming up, we can see that quite nicely here, and yeah, we are soon heading into the cloud cover already. Okay, and now we can, after takeoff checklist, we can complete that. And now we need to get an idea of the surrounding terrain. And as you can see here, the highest mountains are 11,000 feet. Although I think they are over there and not so much on our side. According to the charts, we should be on the safe side when we are at 8,900 feet. So let's keep climbing on this heading for a little bit more, and then we can go direct BOR Johnston Point. Yeah, 330, there it is. What a pity that there are clouds today. This would be such a nice view on the mountains surrounding the airport. Anyhow, it is what it is. Can't change it. And taxi lights, all packs are still off. That's maybe a bit better. There's the cloud tops. Okay, now we are closing in on 8,900, so I will go direct Johnston Point. Yeah, now we can also see there are no more sort of terrain warnings in our way. It's quite a big difference compared to climbing out of Hong Kong. Of course, it's not that warm, and we are a bit lighter, makes a huge difference already. Landing lights. Okie dokie. I believe that was a successful departure, so please enjoy the scenics which are following now, and then we will talk to each other in about 5 hours, 4.5 hours from now when we get closer to Chicago. Enjoy. So hello guys, welcome back to the flight deck. Just as active sky has loaded in a very few clouds around us, but those are more like nice weather clouds, so no worry about them. It is now 1 minute after 11 o'clock Zulu time, which translates into 6 p.m. local time for Chicago, so it will be an early evening arrival into Chicago. We are currently on the 55 RNAV arrival, and as we know from the arrival routes into Chicago, it's a huge star, a huge arrival route. We have passed several waypoints of that one, and the most important waypoint will be the 50 waypoint itself. So at 50, which will come up second from now, we want to be at 250 knots and at 11,000 feet, and from 50 we will go direct to Ruda, which will be the approach fix for our final approach, ILS landing runway 10 center. So we are taking probably a bit of a shortcut here, so sometimes they also vector the aircrafts around in bigger circles and stuff like this. But as there is not too much traffic on the radar, actually I should dial this to below. But if there's no other traffic, we can certainly do it like this. Should work out just fine. Also regarding the landing, so runway 10 center, which has about 11,000 feet in length, not quite, a little bit less than that. I have done the calculations. We are, in terms of landing weight, we are once again rather heavy, same as back in Anchorage. So 165, this will be the final approach speed, flap 30 plus 5. And as you can see here, according to the calculations, we will use most of the runway, but that's totally fine. We can switch over to manual braking if needed, and we can use reverse thrust, of course, as needed. So this should work out fine. Other than that, okay, now there's a bit of traffic, but they are all climbing. What else? So decision height will be 870 feet, that's dialed in. Weather is good, winds 3 knots from 080, so that's pretty much 3 knots on the nose. Pretty easy. Okay, now we are already turning towards the final approach fix, initial approach fix. Pretty easy and super warm, 33 degrees, and super hot that day here in Chicago. We can kind of see it down there, although that might be rather coincidence, but all the fields look rather brownish, sort of indicating the hot summer day in Chicago. And yes, other than that, auto brake is set, seatbelt signs, let's put them on. Okay, and at Ruda, which is our approach fix for today, we want to make sure to be at altitude 4,000 feet. And that's dialed in here, and also I've set the altitude window to 4,000 feet. So that should be spot on. And in case we need, we can certainly use some speed brakes on the way down there. And then we are on the ground actually. I believe we will have the longest taxi in the history of aviation. Maybe not quite like that, but it really feels like it. So runway 10 center is rather towards the south of the airfield, and we want to get a parking at the northeastern cargo ramp, which is pretty much at the opposite side of the airport. And for those of you who know Chicago Airport a little bit, it's huge. Let's put the landing lights on. It's a huge airport, so this will be a very long taxi. I will maybe do a fast forward or something like that in order to not bore you to death. Okay, so let's see what we have. Speed 240, that's where we want to be, so there's no need to set flap 1 just now. We should just monitor that we get down to waypoint Ruda at 4,000 feet. We certainly don't want to be above that when we get there. Descent checklist that has been completed earlier. Approach checklist altimeters are set to 995, which is the current altimeters. And next up will be the landing checklist. Let's get this one aligned, and the last thing to talk about, missed approach. I believe, yeah, just climbing straight ahead, runway heading 093 on 4000. Pretty straightforward. I believe, in fact, yeah, let's set it already 093. Then we don't have to worry about later on. Alrighty, so that's our setup for the approach. We are once again rather heavy for in terms of landing weight, but we have made this experience back in Anchorage already, so we should be handling it well today. At least I hope so. And now I wonder when we're gonna see O'Hare Airport, but I can't make it out yet. Navigation display. Yeah, so now it seems like no clouds in sight. From the weather report from Active Sky, we know that there are a few scattered clouds at 5,000 and 6,000 feet. So these might be loading in later on. So yeah, this can happen knowing how Active Sky and Enhanced Atmospherics work together, or rather how they not work together. We might see some cloud popping later on. It seems like we will be spot on 4000 at Ruda. I kind of want to make sure that we don't level out there, so I'm gonna set this a bit lower, and then we have some time to capture the glide slope properly. Okay, now we are 14 miles out, 15 miles, so we should start setting up our flaps. So flaps 1. So now we are 12 miles out, and the clouds have just loaded in, as Active Sky is also showing on the weather report. We are setting flaps 5 now, and we are closing in on the final approach. Let's see where this guy is going to land, but whatever runway he's on, it's definitely a different one than we are. Okay, so localizer, that's captured straight away, and glide slope is also captured straight away. That's pretty convenient. And we are 10 miles out, flap 10. Speed goes back now, 188. And there's the airport down there. So I believe we might be getting a little bit of legs from now on, due to scenery loading in, and also at some point we will probably see the skyline of Chicago in the background. Alright, so landing lights go on, taxi lights go on, everything else is set as it should be. Okay, this goes to go around altitude 4000. And that's a neat cloud cover. Also, I like the kind of dust layer out there, the haze layer over the lake. Pretty cool. Alright, 6 miles out, flap 20, and gears coming down. Stutters. Yeah, so there are a couple of stutters, a little bit of legs here now. Flap 25. Alright, so speed goes back to 160 now, VREF speed, and flap 25, and flaps 4, and arming the speed brakes, and now we're just waiting for the flaps. There it is, landing checklist is completed. Alright, and with that I believe I can take the aircraft. Oops, I've hit a switch down there, whatever it was. Air data, whatever. Okay. Now we are all settled. And let's hope for a good one now. It is once again, like back in Anchorage, a very heavy aircraft to land. So what I will try to do is to start the flare rather early, so maybe at around 50 feet above the ground we will get the callouts from the aircraft, so that will help us. Right now there's no wind at all, so there's not too much an excuse for a bad landing here. Okay, 2 reds, 2 whites, looking good so far. It's looking a little bit empty on the ground. I'm not sure if the air traffic is loaded in properly, but I can reload it once we are on the ground.
Approaching minimums.
Just a touch high now. Continue.
100. 50. 40.
And
30.
slowly starting
20.
the flare.
10.
Idle. And there we are. It was not too bad. Reverse green. Speed brakes are up. Beautiful. Speed brakes are up. Reverse are going. And that's 60 knots idle forward, manual braking. Alrighty, that wasn't too bad. Quite a nice landing actually. And now, well, I wasn't paying any attention during the approach, but now we can see the skyline of Chicago in the background. Quite nice. Okay, 30 knots. Let's take this exit here, which is Hotel. That's perfect. And let's start a little bit of the cleanup already, flight directors. And tropes. Yeah, so I think I will reload the AI traffic in a second. There seems to be a bit of an issue here. Maybe that's why there was no traffic disturbing us when we got on the ground, but that's not too bad. Flaps are coming up. Auto brake off. And now we're taking right-hand turn. And then I believe we have to take the next left-hand turn right away. Transponder goes to this mode. Alright guys, and as already mentioned, now it's a very long taxi, and I will make it fast forward and then meet you down at our parking position. Runway we will take when we get. Alright, so that was quite easily the longest taxi I ever had to do. Insane how long it takes to get over here. And I don't know yet which runway we will take when we get out of Chicago. But I wouldn't be surprised if we would have to taxi all the way back, maybe to 10 left or something like that. So yeah, very long. APU, I have started it. It should be available any second now. And now we are getting close, so this will pretty much be the final turn. into the northeastern cargo ramp, and it seems like there's no other traffic here. We will be the only ones, and then I believe our parking position should be somewhere over there. Yeah, back there it is. Okay. So let's see, APU is available, that's good. Taxi lights can go off. Okay, and unlike we had it in Anchorage, here in Chicago we of course will have full deloading of the plane and then loading the cargo again for the flight over to Milan. So we will be on the ground a little bit longer. Actually, I haven't checked our scheduled departure time, but it's probably at least 2 hours, maybe more. Okay, and the pushback out of this one will also get quite interesting, I believe. I think there's a 777 departing, quite nice. Okay, I can't even see marshaller, so let's get an outside view. Maybe we should even take... Okay, apparently there are two 747 markings. The first one is down here, and then the second one is all the way down there. I have no idea what the reason is, but I would assume that for the nose cargo to be operated, maybe we should even take the first one. So let's do that. Now I have just filled it. No, I haven't. That's good. Alrighty, there we are. Okay, parking brake. APU is online. Those go to aux, and then the engines go off. Transponder goes to standby. Fuel pumps go off. Window heats. PACs can stay on, beacons go off, taxi lights are off already, and this is all looking rather good. Okay, flight time 5:23 and block time 5:44. Let's get the wheel chocks in, ground power. And then we can release the parking brake and put the hydraulic panel to off. And there's the external power. I'm just going to use one of them. APU can go off. And the shutdown checklist, everything is done. Parking brakes are released. So, we will ask for deboarding and operate some doors. Open nose cargo, side cargo, forward cargo, after cargo. Sweet. Right, so GSX is working fine, and on that note, welcome once again to Chicago. Thank you for joining me on this fourth leg. There was another heavy departing 777. Yes, thanks a lot for joining me on this fourth leg of our around the world tour, and now with that flight I believe we have completed the largest part of it, and then it will only be over to Milan, which is around a 7 or 8 hour flight, and then the last flight from Milan back to Luxembourg. It's probably less than an hour. Very short hop over to Luxembourg finally. And yes, I feel like we are progressing quite well. I hope you guys enjoy these kind of videos. Feel free to like and subscribe, or give any recommendations if you feel to do so. And yes, thanks for joining, and take care.